So today I'm going to replace my front shocks on my 96 Chevy Blazer, and I just wanted to walk you through how to do it. Did some investigating on my own and just thought it'd be kind of helpful. I didn't find a video of how to do this, so here we go. First thing you want to do is assemble your tools. So I have the convenience of Air Tools, and if you don't, then you might want to just grab your tire iron. It's a 19 millimeter, and let's get the tire off. Alright, you can see right down here there is an 18 millimeter bolt and a nut on the end that's running through the shock. The shock comes up here under this flap, and on each side, on this side and on this side, 18 millimeter bolt and 18 millimeter nut. What you've got to do is get inside of here and loosen those and pull this sucker out. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Grab your 18 millimeter socket on the one hand and your 18 millimeter wrench on the other. Put the light down under here. I'm put my socket on this side, and I'm going to run this wrench back up inside here like this and get it connected on the back side. It'll go in. You're going to have to wiggle it around a bit to try and make it fit. There we go. And then you can just get this on. Make sure we're going the right direction. And break this loose. So you can notice I can do this with hand tools. Since I've got it, I'm going to use my Air Tools and pop this on here. Okay, there we go. That's off. There's your nut. And then what I used that screwdriver for, stop please Brandon. So what I used the screwdriver and mallet for is just to put the screwdriver on the back side of the bolt and just tapped it out. And it was a lot easier than trying to pull it out. There we go. Still a little tight. Let's get it clear up in here. There we go. Alright. Wick loose. You're going to notice that there is a washer on the side of this. You can just keep those here. Now, to get the top side off, you're going to have to grab your 18 millimeter wrench again, and what you want to do is you're going to have to slide this clear up inside the fender and connect it to the head of that bolt, and then get your socket on the other end, and then you'll be able to break it loose. Kind of at an angle too, so it's a little bit funny. It's not exactly straight. There you go. You can notice how it's turned at a little bit of an angle. And you're going to rotate this back. Got to keep that wrench on there. It's a little tricky. There we go. And at some point, your wrench will hit the side of the body of the car. And it's broken loose now. Same deal. Showing you that you can use your hand tools. I'm going to actually use this universal extension so that I can get up in there with my Air Tool and get this done just a little bit faster. Alright, the next thing we got to do is I've got the bolt out of the top of the shock, and now you got to undo this bracket right here. It's 13 millimeter bolt and nut, and it's tying up the ABS and the brake line. because when you try to pull the shock out, it won't clear right here. So just come right back behind with your wrench, and you got to get it on the back side of the head of the bolt like that, and then get your socket. And it might be tough, not so bad. Break that loose and just undo this bolt and nut so that you can get. Okay, what I'm going to do is also, to get this out of the way, get the wheel out of the way, I'm going to go turn the steering wheel. So what that's going to do is give me some room to wiggle this shock out of the way. And yes, you can tell it is raining. That sucks. So we'll be wiggling this guy right down. It's going to go right between here, and you can see how that ABS line would have been in the way. With it out of the way, the shock comes right out. Let's come on over here. So here is the old shock, and you can see that it just pushes right down to the ground and it doesn't spring back up. Let's come on over here. And I bought my shocks off of Amazon.com. No plug intended there. That's a rear one. Let's see what we got here. There's the front one. You can see with this that if you push down, it comes back up and there's a lot more resistance. So let's go put it in. To get this in, you're going to have to feed it right back up through here. And this is no small task. It can be a little bit painstaking to try and get it in there. You're going to have to push it up against the CV boot and just wiggle and keep pushing to get it past everything. Okay, we're good. And then you're going to want to be certain that you get this lined up here, because if it's wedged in and it's not straight with the bracket, it's a pain. Okay, I've got that lined up. We're going to worry about the bottom in a minute. We want to get the top lined up first, and then we'll get the bottom lined up. So the top, we've got the bolt coming through this side. Lining it up through the hole. Okay, there we go. Nut on the back side. And what I do here is just tighten this up enough that it holds that bolt into place, but don't worry about getting it completely tight yet. Now what you have to do is get this bottom shock, the bracket. That was a good one right there. So now what I need is a pry bar. Okay, so here I've got a pry bar, and what I'm going to do with this pry bar is I'm just going to use it to compress the shock a little bit so that I can get it inside the bracket. There we go. And then I'm just going to keep pushing and wiggling until I can get that right up inside of there. You might need to turn this and line it up first before you get it to where you're pushing it up inside. It's going to take a minute. It'll go. It's so fun working on a car in the rain. Okay. Now it's moving in, and dang is it coming down. Aha, got it. Okay, we're going to take a break now and go inside, let the rain cool off a little. Okay, well that was the biggest rainstorm I think I've ever been in, at least here in Utah anyway. So where I'm at, what we've got to finish is getting the bolt and the nut inside of the shock, not forgetting the washer, of course. By the way, there's only a washer on the lower, not on the upper part of the shock. So if you feel like you're confused because you're like, I think I lost something, you didn't. Okay, so we've got it in the bracket now. Just get a screwdriver or something back behind it, kind of wiggle it forward. You got to get it to where it's lined up with the holes, like so. Now, when you have it in that position to where it's lined up with the holes, get your pry bar. I found the pry bar worked better than the screwdriver because the screwdriver was too narrow in the head. And what you want to do is just pry it up, because it's going to compress that shock and get it to where the holes will line up. That's what we need. It might be sliding forward. Let's see what happens. Don't want it to pop out of the bracket. Just keep wiggling. There we go. Looks like it's down in there now. And it's in. Not so bad. Come from the back side and get the bolt on. Once you have that on, you're just going to reverse the process and use your 18mm wrench on the back side, use your socket on the front until you get it tightened up as tight as you can do it, and then grab your torque wrench and you want to torque these to 54 foot-pounds, and then you'll be done. Put everything back together, get your wheel. One thing that you've got to do as you're buttoning everything back up is you got to get the bracket right here, and you've got to bring it back and get these little tangs to go inside that hole. Let me see if I'm even showing you the right spot. Right there, that hole, those tangs go in that hole, and then you're going to run the bolt through the back side and twist the nut on the front side, and just snug it up. Not worry about torque, just get it good and tight.